Thanks for coming. As I say, I work part in digital, the Director General for Informatics. We are part in the interoperability part of the Digital Real program. We are proposing this call for a GovTech Incubator from a partnership agreement. This is already the second info session. You have the link to see the recording of the first info session that was in the invitation, the calendar invitation. So the objective of today, as part of the second session, which is 1 month to the closure of the call. So it's a reminder of the main action on the action plan and the focus we need to have on the action plan. So I will say that I will put some more focus compared to the previous presentation as well, to give the opportunity to ask further questions. And of course, to continue the matchmaking. We received 6 requests for pitching. Received actually just 3 presentations, but if others would like to do so, you're welcome. There is also, we have quite comfortable agenda today. So in case, I mean, depending on how many questions you would ask, but we will continue we can proceed more pitches if people would like to do so. So first, here is introduction. So I will do the first presentation. It will take a bit more than half an hour. Will be about the call. So the call for the framework partnership agreement. We'll come to that soon with the next presentation. After I dedicate up to half an hour of question. Of course, if there are more, we can do more. But this is something that we will do certainly. And the third item will be a point which does not concern directly the framework partnership agreement, but concern when the funding will be done. So it's a combination of funding mostly with resilience and recovery facility. And at the end, there will be the matchmaking. So with the pitching exercise, so I will call the people. I have the presentation of those already say that would present, and then you can have also the possibility to ask some more questions. So the GovTech Incubator. So the call, just reminding a bit the context, is part of the Digital Europe program. It's the Digital Europe program. It's a new program. This is part of the work program 2021-22. For those who are familiar, we are parts of the former ISA program. We are in the so-called European Digital Government Ecosystem of Digital Europe program, and this is a new initiative, so it's not the continuation of what we've been doing before in the former program. It's the GovTech Incubator. If you're looking as well, you might be interested as well to see other funding opportunities, and here you're welcome to go to the Digital Europe program, where you can see all the other activities and the funding opportunities. So the objective of the GovTech Incubator is foster collaboration between actors of the GovTech. There is a focus on deployment of new human-centric digital public service using emerging technologies, in AI, blockchain, etc. It's to promote also innovative digital government reusable solution, preferably open source, and to ensure interoperability by default when designing these solutions, and to have a collaboration across member states through piloting activities in a variable scale geometry, meaning that we don't expect to have all the member states participating into the grant or the future grant to conduct all the activities together. They can be done, of course, with small groups where we think it's more efficient. So that this will come at a later stage where we start the implementation. And of course, one of the ideas, because hence the name as well, is we encourage the participation of European SME and startup, because we believe it's the best way to adopt this new way of working, but also new technologies inside the public sector. So I will now explain a bit also the financial instrument we're using, because we had many questions on that. It was not clear because it's quite, I would say it's a complex, but at the end it's more easy to manage, and it allows less, it provides less administrative burden compared to normal grants. So a framework partnership agreement, this is, it's something that is foreseen in the financial regulation, and it's a way to provide funding. So it's the implementation is done through two legal instruments. So the first is the framework partnership agreement. And after we finance the implementation through specific grant agreements. Although you are familiar, it exists as well the procurement, where we have framework programs based on which we issue specific contracts. So this is a long-term cooperation, the framework partnership agreement, with partners who may be potential beneficiaries of grants. So it doesn't mean that every partner in the consortium that will be signed the FPA will need to implement, will be beneficiary of grants. And this I will come to this point later. So the main characteristic of this framework partnership agreement, it's a mutual interest and put together people who are aiming at the common general objective, pursuing the union policies, of course. The actions are defined and agreed jointly based on these objectives, and it's a formalized and ongoing arrangement that will allow to implement potential action. So it means that once the framework partnership is signed, we can also decide to issue specific grants as well to conduct specific activities. So it's a way as well to identify the main actors to pursue sort of policy goals to implement the actions. So an overview of how it works. So to make an analogy with the game, so with the FPA, you set the game. Basically, you define your action plan. So it's a general description, and I will come to that when I say something about the action plan, where you identify your potential partners and you set the rules to play. But the framework partnership agreement has no budget associated to it. So it's when you sign the specific grant agreement that you really start playing. So when the specific grant agreement will be signed, we will start implementing each specific actions in the action plan. We will determine the budget, and after hard work, we'll reimburse the cost, because as a specific grant, as a grant function, is based on cost reimbursement. So as I said, just to summarize a bit, another way what I just say, so it's two-level. I've heard there is a mic. If the person who has the mic would get it, please. That would be great. This is a two-level, I would say it's a two-level way of implementing the action. So we have the partnership, and this partnership set out the rules to govern the awarding of grants. And so, but in any case, there is no obligation to award grants, and there is no financial commitment with the FPA. So there will be, and you will see this would be reflected in the proposal that would need to be submitted. And then there is a second level. This is the union grant, when we sign a specific grant agreement. And this, we really have purely specific provisions. So here we need first for us on our side to have a budget appropriation. We put 3 million on that for the first grant. And there will be the necessity to put the details information about budget, and who receive how much and to do what. So just summarizing in another way, as you say, is done, so there is no funding, and we just have decided for one grant. So here we call for a duration of 4 years. And we have a first grant, financing grant, that will be cover the first 2 years. So here, just to summarize, we have the FPA, the FPA, so we're calling for these 4 years. And we can have an extension also to cover the duration of the program. And here we could have, we'll have a first specific grant agreement that will cover the first 2 years. Then we will have one or more, it's always possible, in for the next work program. This has not been decided yet, because as you may know, we are just starting working on the second work program. So the scope of the framework partnership agreement. So it's to deliver an action plan with jointly agreed objective. It will be covering 4 years of activities. And the actions that we foresee, that should at least cover, so you're free to propose more, So it's to have, for example, horizontal incubator functions like you may do in your respective countries. So advising, organized challenge between practice, stakeholder engagement, etc. To support as well the design, elaboration, execution of pilots. This will be involving subsets of partners. Assess as well and identify from this pilot reusable solutions that could be reused and supported further in the program as a mature solution, and to continuously doing road mapping and ensure the sustainability, the long preparedness to sustainability of the initiative. And as well, last but not least, is also, of course, to be coherent and engage actively with national GovTech programs and actors. Of course, you can also engage with regional. It's not that we are limiting to the national level. And identify possible activities. So the advantage, to come back to what this combination of two-level funding. So, I mean, there is a simplification in the management because, as we say, the effort is done on making the consortium, although you don't have to decide right away what exact activity you will do to answer to the call. It allows a long-term planning. Everything is already good in the FDA, and the SGA will just have specific information to the execution of the projects. It's also a more stable arrangement, and this allows a better group work. And this is something also to mention because we had some questions of people wanted to know if they sign the FPA, they have an obligation to participate. No, as I say, I can answer no. And because you can be either active partner after when you sign later the specific grant agreement, you can be a partner not carrying out the action, so not receiving funding. However, you sign the grant, meaning that you agree with the activities that will be carried on. There is also the possibility not receiving EU funding for third-party countries who are not eligible to receive funding. You can participate, but of course you need to. So it means that you can participate using your own fund. But in this case, it has also to be justified why a third country in the proposal, why this partner are bringing specific expertise to be part of a consortium of the GovTech Incubator. Some words, although as I said, the focus is not on that, but it's important to know. So as we said, the first specific agreement decided under the current work program, the proposal will have to be submitted by the consortium that will sign the framework partnership agreement. So this will be done after, and we will see what happens when I show the timeline. It will be the model will be a simple grant with 50% financing. It will implement the first 2 years of the action plan, and it will be focused on experimentation. So this cannot be used to deploy services in a given member state. It's just really to be focused on experimenting together, doing piloting activities, ideally. And also, I mean, to be in full agreement with the work program. So the activity should be there, piloting, as I say, focusing, using innovative technologies. Here we propose 3 million funding and co-financing. There is the possibility as well to combine with resilience and recovery facility. Here I will show as well, there is the next presentation. I will explain a bit how this works, but it's just first information for national authorities to be prepared if needed to. So about the participant, just to remind the participants, it's all explained in the call document for which you find the link. All legal entities, private and public, they must be established each one of the eligible countries from member states or non-EU countries associated or on ongoing negotiation. If you have the link to the list, so we have some associated countries such as Liechtenstein, Iceland and Norway. We have also some negotiation ongoing with certain candidate countries, but and here, as I say, this is just for eligible countries for also reimbursements of costs. It's not close to others, but you have to justify why they should participate. All the beneficiary and affiliated, they must register in the participant register before submission. All the details are also in the call document. The consortium composition we expect, so the beneficiaries need to have at least 3 applicants with following conditions, at least 3 entities from different eligible countries, and at least 3 entities operating at national level, supporting innovation and or experimentation in the public sector, digital innovation, I would say. So this is why although the name, they don't have the same name, so we call them GovTech Lab to simplify, but sometimes they're digital labs, sometimes they are agencies, etc. So, but this way we would like to have at least 3 such kind of entities. Of course, the more the better. But this we will see what it is composed. So here, just to remind the timeline. So the call was open in February. It's today, the information session. We are about 1 month to the closure of the call. Once the call is closed, we will evaluate it beginning of June, and hopefully, depending on the number of proposals, just to mention, we expect just 1. So the bigger consortium we have, the more happy we are. And normally in the summer, we will communicate the results, and there we start the framework partnership agreement signature preparation. Hopefully to at the end of the summer, do you have the invitation to submit? We sign it, and we send right away the invitation to submit the specific grant agreement. So the evaluation of the specific grant agreement will happen during the last quarter, and we start hopefully the grant agreement preparation, and we will sign it either end of the year or beginning of next year. The grant agreement and the accession forms, and then it allows us to start co-financing and start the real work. So it's just summarizing what I just said. Here I just reminding the deadlines. I take the opportunity as well just to give a recommendation, because we're 1 month to the closure of the call. So these are the do's and don'ts. So this is fully electronic, so there is no paper to submit. So this is one, I'll let you read all through that, but the important is that do not wait the last day to submit the proposal. Please consider it, because the last day, at the call close on the 17th of May at 5 p.m., 5:01 p.m., it's too late. So, and we know how IT can work. You can lose connection, there can be a problem, etc. Unless the problems come from our side, you will need to, everything that arrives later, it's too late, and there is no way to have an exception. So please consider to submit a number of days before the deadline in case there is a problem. We can still consider. So as I say, even if it's just a next to final version of the proposal, do it instead of not submitting at all. Hereafter, they are quite obvious. So I let you read all this presentation. So the next step, as I say, continue to read carefully the page, what is on the page, and the call document, to read it carefully. As well, I invite you, as usual, as always, to join our innovative public services collection, where we published all the information related to that, and also the digital UR program page. There will be the FAQ to be provided using some of the questions. Here is if you go on the call, there will be an FAQ sections, but we will update it soon. We have now, they are in moderation, the answers that we have to provide. Everything which is non-IT related, if you have an issue with the problem, there is a numbers, but everything that is non-IT related, you can send it to us, digitgovtech@europe.eu. For now, the focus should be, continue to build the right partnership, find the right partner. So ask us to be put in contact with the people who want to be put in contact, or It express also the interest on the portal. If you go on the call, I just put a screen capture here. You can put and say why you want to join. So allow also people to know that you're interested. And of course, agree on the 4 years action plan and high-level activities to carry on. So now I will put a focus on the action plan, which is the part. So the template is available just when you go in the template session of the submission IT system. So you need to open a connection, and then you will have the part B. I will share it anyway with the summary of this meeting on Join the document, so you can see also what it looks like. It's an RTF document. So the similarities, it has some similarities with the usual grant template. So you have a section relevance on implementation and the capacity to carry on the activities that are proposed, and the impact sections, they are still here. And this is also what the base on what how we will evaluate the proposal. However, the difference there will be, as I said, there will no, because there is no funding associated, there is no detailed budget tables. You don't need to send all the CVs. We don't need to know at this point who will actually work. Also to justify from grants, there is no annual activity reports to be submitted, but you have to submit. There is a part called a multi-annual action plan. And here I just put how it looks like in the template, just to give an idea, but just to say to you some of the main points is that the overview, you must have the overview, it should contain the overview of the activity plan for the 4 years. For each activity, there is a description, the target group, milestones, and the lead beneficiary. The milestones are, however, not mandatory, just to be used for major outputs. And if it's a complex project, complex dependency, but they are not mandatory, I mean, you're welcome to put them. Also deliverables, just the major outputs there should not be in the action plan many deliverables. So you just have to mention some deliverables. After, it's good also to group according to the type of activities that will last for the 4 years, and activities that will be used focus in time. As I say as well, I mean, what is important is that although the template shows in the form of the table, we can understand that if you want to put more information, it's not necessarily, it doesn't fit well, and it's not well readable in the table. So you must ensure you have all the information that is described by the table, but it does not be necessarily in the form of the table. You can do paragraph with section, so this is up to you. And I mean, we have to say it's usually how it is done. People rarely use the table itself because it's too synthetic. Of course, if you manage to do it, you're welcome to do it, but it's just to say that you don't have to use per se a table, but all the information must be there. There is also a table called the multi-annual budget estimate. So here is also rough budget information, and it's a really rough estimation. So it's not something that will be used after to drive the SGA. It's just for also for to discuss, give the opportunity for you to discuss the first involvement. It will be when it will be where and when you will intervene the GovTech Incubator. So that is just to give an indication, just to be also transparent. This table is not used as part of the evaluation. So we will not evaluate against the budget information. Of course, I mean, it has to be the action plan and the budget estimate has to be consistent with the first SGA that we will call after this is signed. So since we say that we want to give 3 million to do from 2 to 4 pilots, they should appear in the action plan. Of course, you should have these activities reflected into the action plan. That's maybe the only thing that you need to take care about. So now maybe I will start the questions and answers. So before starting, I can put already some questions that are already received. So is it necessary to define the use case pilot allocation of resource? I just answered to that, no. At this stage, it's not the time to do it. Of course, you're welcome to discuss this among yourselves. But as I said, the action plan should be consistent with the GA funding proposed in the work program. As I said as well, being part of the consortium of the FPA, it doesn't say who will receive funding and when, and so you can be a dormant partner, but you can be part in future specific grant agreements. So you can say that you want to be part of the FPA to participate in actions, but not currently, but in the future. So this is also something you have to discuss among yourselves. And there was another question as well, because we know that in other programs such as Horizon Europe, there were some co-financing rules according to the type of partner. Here, there is no exception. So 50% applies to every partner and 50% of the eligible COPs. So they must come from either from national or private sources. As I say, I will have a presentation after we ask some questions. And there is a possibility to combine with resilience and recovery, recovery and resilience funds. Is still the possibility, but this I will come to that later. Now I think I will open the floor. So the fact is that I cannot see if there are some questions. Let me put this into to see the chat. So maybe I will stop sharing my screen. We can come back to, so I can see the chat if there was some question. No. Please raise your hand or take the floor directly. Are there some questions? Don't be shy. Yeah. Somebody taking the floor? Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, Redouane.
Do you hear me? Yes, Redouane from Paris, Démarche Simplifiée team.
Mm-hmm.
So just to summarize, for if there is anybody who did not attend the previous session, we have like a Google form. I say Google form because that's how we present it to French people. It's a form generator compatible with all the needs of public administration and services. So I was just wondering, and to confirm, for example, we have a 10-people team who is working actually on the project to deploy it in France. It's been deployed for 4 years. And then, so we can build a consortium with any other people from any other country, for example, and we bring, we don't bring funding, but we bring like the team who is working, and it can be considered as co-financing. Am I right?
Yeah. So as financing, yeah, you can have in-kind contribution. So if you go as well on the page, you will see there. I mean, on the funding for digital, you will see all the type of eligibility of costs. So you have in-kind contribution, of course, with the staff. I mean, most of them, I would say, most of for such project, usually most of the majority of the costs, they are usually personal costs as well. So this is how it is done. So of course, I mean, if you contribute with people, it can also be sometimes it's necessary with material, facility, etc. So this is always different rules to have in-kind contribution. So, and there is, and here you can always as well either go to the Also, the national contact points are well aware as well of the type of availability of cost. And as I say, I mean, here is something you must not, this is something you will have to really take careful care, to take care of when you will be prepared to sign the first grant agreement. Now, so far, it's just that you would like to participate, but of course, it's important to know what cost you can declare. So we have normally subcontracting, staff costs, kind contribution, and a long list I cannot do. I mean, travels, etc., etc. So I mean, there are a number of however, a number of costs that have to be bared by 50% by the institution.
Okay, thank you. So that's clear. So now, I mean, from now to May 16, I guess the focus is just like building the consortium and give the outline of the project, and then carry on afterward for the grant.
But because, I mean, what you described, for example, just to clarify, so as we say, we expect a large consortium to conduct a number of activities for a long period. So what your project would not be a consortium, would be a subgroup of the consortium. So it's not that we, as I say, we are looking for, we don't expect to have one project just finance under that. It should be an umbrella to conduct many projects.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is why you should be part of a larger consortium. And after you can decide inside when you're a part of this group under the FPA, you could have one activities. If you find other partners interested to work with you, other partners to work together on this project.
Okay, thank you.
Are there other questions or clarifications needed? Please. No. Okay. If not, I will move to my second presentation, which is, I would say, a bit. It concerns the next part. So, as you know, as I mentioned, there was the possibility to have checks that I can fit as well. So there was the possibility to have combination of funds. So although this will apply when you will sign the first specific grant agreement, this has to be thought because it requires some, I would say, preparation on the side of the member state. So here it's more for the people who are coming from the different ministries or representing their authorities is something that has to be taken into account. And maybe start thinking about it now. So in the current multi-annual financial framework of the European Union, there is many of the programs that foresee synergies between the program. So, and for example, in Digital Europe program, since we have the co-financing is as a general rule is set as 50%. So there is the possibility to have for beneficiaries to co-finance with other financial instruments, such as the resilience and recovery. And just to know, for those who are interested as well, for those who are working maybe on digital innovation hubs, that the Commission is working on communication that will clarify the synergies between the European and regional and development fund and Horizon Europe as well with Digital Europe program. But there is also a guidance document that regarding specifically the recovery and resilience facility and Digital Europe, you should work. But here I will just give some outline. So about the resilience and recovery facility. So this was it was the largest investment that has been done so far by the European Union. As you may know, it's 700 billion, both in loans and in non-repairable payments. And based on that, this was launched. There was much publicity about it. We have member states have developed resilience and recovery plans called RRPs that put laying out the investment and reform they want to do using the funds. The final agreed RRPs, so far we have 22, with the final list of targets and milestones are published as part of the Council implementing decision, and twice a year there will be a payment agreed on estimated cost. It's done based on targets and milestones that are to be proposed. So it's not against reimbursement of costs, it's just based on targets and milestones achieved. The operational arrangement, this will specify the evidence that has to be present for that, and they need to be finalized before the first payment request. So now there will be currently, the Commission is busy making the first payments under this area. So it's about the resilience and recovery facility. There is an important part on digital and digitalization of public sector, and we have seen in the plans that have been submitted a number of ideas also addressing digital innovation in the public sector. So this is where it comes into fund. So how would you combine funding under digital area? The legal framework is that, and these are common principles that are taken from financial regulation and the regulation of the two instruments. So first, the common principle, there should not be double funding of the same costs. And of course, you cannot fund beyond 100% of the eligible costs. So meaning that you cannot have to pay more that is foreseen in the grants on your plan. So it's really has to be 50% participation for a given beneficiary. This is very important to know this for a given beneficiary. It does not apply to the whole grant. And the idea is to promote of this combination of funding is to develop synergies between the different funds that we have, to ensure that we don't have dispersion and maybe some silos, etc. So the combination of funding, how it works. So on one side, reform and investment project may receive support from other union programs. So this is what is written. To cover, except to cover mandatory national co-financing, and on the condition that the costs are not covered twice. It's another way just to say. So here is when you, here is also the legal part that is written in the Digital Europe Program Regulation. So here it's just to put in words what I just say before. So there is a need of coordination to ensure that there is no double funding. So how it will work in practice? This was all theoretical. So in practice, you will have a digital grant at EU level. So this is when we will have the specific grant agreement. This will be the grant that will be there. So here, and under this digital grant, there will be estimated cost in grant agreements to specify the maximum EC contribution. And after the delivery of results, the payment will be based on the actual eligible cost. This is how it will work on grants. For the RRF, on the non-repayable support to EU member states. So here it's a package of work that is agreed with estimated cost, milestones and targets, and the payment of the agreed estimated cost will be done when the targets and milestones are met. So this means that the payment way is different, but how to combine? So I mean, in order to combine this with a grant, there must be a national grant at the member state level. So here it's the package of work agreed between the member states and the beneficiary of this national grant using a national grant scheme. And the payment will be done under the condition that the member state will do with this beneficiary. So on this, when you agree on that, you can have the combination of both. I will not say more because this I will explain more, I mean, later at the stage when you write the grants, I mean, to ensure that there is no double funding, but it was just to say that this possibility is open, it exists. So it means that if some member states would like, or initiatives would like to would like to participate, but would like to have the 50% co-financing paid under the RRF, you must ensure that you organize also national grants to be able to pay the share of your national beneficiaries. Are there any questions on this part? Just let me know. Stop sharing this. Please. Now there is a lot of information to digest, but let me know if you need some. So it's very quiet. So it means that either everything is clear or people are not. I think so. This gives that we are quite ahead of time. That's good. Propose we move to the matchmaking exercise. So here is the pitching session. So here is the matchmaking exercise. So this is the part where we try to put together. As I said, we want one consortium, so the bigger the better. So it's a way to show your interest to take part of this GovTech Incubator. So the rule is simple. There are 3 minutes each, 3 questions. So you have to say who you are, why do you want to participate, what expertise you would bring to the consortium. And as well, after, to continue, as I mentioned before, do not hesitate as well to use the funding and tender call portal to indicate your interest to participate. So we have, so far in the registration we got 6. The 6 pitches today, so less than last time. So we have Digital Vlaanderen, we have Digital Accelerator from Latvia, we have Tionet from Greece, we have El Oasis del Mercader from Spain, Dataport from Germany, and Ventura from Greece. Could you please confirm that you're ready to participate? So I will first start with Dominic.
Yep, ready?
Yeah. So you just tell me next. I put your presentation inside. So okay. So now you have 3 minutes. You can take more because we are way ahead of time. So I will not be strict on the time.
Okay, well, I'll talk slow. Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Dominic Boeckhaert. I'm running the Sandbox Flanders initiative within the Flemish government and Digitaal Vlaanderen. And Sandbox Flanders, we are an innovation lab, and with it, the Flemish government is offering an environment in which to safely experiment with new products and new technologies, new ways of working. And the goal is to embed a sustainable innovation culture within the Flemish government, mainly by working together with startups who bring in that new technology. Yes, next. Who is it for and how does it work? Who is it for? We offer our services to Flemish entities, Flemish administrations who want to discover and learn about potential and feasibility of new innovative technology, new ways of working, and developing their innovative use in business cases. And on the counterpoint of that, we also would offer our services to the innovative startups, very young startups in their first year, in their second year, who have a new product or who have their beta version of their first product and are looking for a safe environment to test it with a representable audience and user on the one hand, or who have a little bit more maturity but did not have a lot of projects yet and are looking for a reference case within the context of the Flemish government to scale their product and get some publicity around it. And so with that, we offer an experimentation space, a lab environment, and a legal framework, mainly getting around the public procurement law, for example, to test out these new technologies and to develop use and business cases. I'll get back to them on the next slide. And why do we do it? Well, it's a way to safely experiment. It's the opportunity to fail, but to fail forward and to learn from what went wrong and to get a better product, both from the startup side as from the administration's side, and thinking about and also be a think tank for finding the answers to tomorrow's questions and even beyond that. Yes, next. The intended innovation is both business-driven and technology-driven. Now, the business-driven side is the input comes from the administrations who will give us ideas and will develop on those ideas. Technology-driven is mainly, but not exclusively, from startups and scale-ups who bring in those new technologies. That could be mature technologies which already have products. It could be mature technologies, but who don't have a lot of products yet, and you want to test out things like what are the new insights in AI, what are the new insights in low-tech, no-code, low-code, and so on, and provide a safe environment for that. It's always in Sandbox, we look at it customer-centric. One of the ideas of ways of working we use for that, methodologies we use for that, is the design thinking. We do a lot of design sprints, which comes from the Google universe, which works very well for us. From there on, we develop use case and business cases. On the one hand, we take it to the prototyping, not the minimal viable product. It's not the intention of the Sandbox to deliver a product that will be rolled out in large. Just a prototype that works enough to show us what we are doing, what the innovation is. We use new technologies for that, new products and new platforms given to us by the startups and scale-ups. And I think that is a lot on offer for GovTech 2, the startup side, the link with the administration, and the customer centricity. I think I'm looking forward to see your reactions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Very interesting. I mean, it's basically it's what we would like to do at EU level. You do, so it's. Hope you manage. So I mean, you agree that we can share your contact with the other people who are interested to form a consortium. So we will do it, certainly. Thank you. Now we would like to have, I'm calling from Latvia, the Digital Accelerator. Is there somebody to present it? I received the presentation this morning, so hello. Wait, Stanislav, are you here? Don't see. Yeah, I mean, Stanislav, you here, Vaisla? I saw you here. Do you want to take the floor? Hello? Okay. So let's move to the other one. Giornet. Nikos,
Yes.
I don't have a presentation, but I think you can
Yes.
Present and take the floor.
Hello,
and
George.
your
Yes.
camera. Yeah.
Hello, George.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. We can hear you. Yeah.
Yes. I'm Yanis from GNet, together with my partners Nikos and Xenophon and Efrosini and Harris. We are here. We, as we presented in the previous info day, GNet is an old in terms, digital terms organization that started in the late 90s as the main provider of digital services to the academia and research community. And now it acts as the executive arm and technical advisor to the newly formed Ministry of Digital Governance in Greece, and is very actively participating in the digital transformation projects, digital government transformation projects in Greece, and cooperating with other partners all around Europe. We welcomed the call for digital incubator, for the GovTech Incubator, and together with a vast assortment of other partners from the Lisbon Council, from Sweden, from Denmark, Lithuania, and many other countries, we form a partnership for participating. From our side, our main competencies, our already experience in providing a new generation of digital services, especially in the era of pandemic and under certain circumstances, difficult circumstances, where now we understand more and more the need for incubation entities, for test before invest facilities, and those concepts that are part of the incubator. And of course, we are very keen in expanding our reach and our network of cooperation with other partners all around the world. Thank you.
Thanks, Yanis. Yeah, so it's good to hear that there is already some good contacts between some participants. So I encourage you, and I will after this meeting, I will share again the mails of the people, so it allows people to participate. There was somebody from Eloisis del Mercader. Is there somebody? Antonio Salamanca Garcia, are you here? Yes or not? Doesn't look so. So I will move to the next one, Dataport. So we have one presentation from Dataport.
Yeah, it's me.
Yes,
Hello.
yeah. Let me just share your presentation.
Sure.
Just have it open. Just need to. Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So next.
Yeah, I've got 3 minutes. So hello, good afternoon, also from Germany, from Dataport. Thankfully, Nikos and GNet reached out to us and informed us about this presentation and actually also the GovTech Incubator itself. Do you mind switching back to the first slide? To the very first one.
It was the first. Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. About Dataport, our company, which is a public company, so state-owned, we provide IT services for at least our shareholders, like public administrations in 6 German federal states. We expand our portfolio right now also to national project and especially international projects. So we want to transfer knowledge from Germany to Europe, but also the other way around, for sure, from Europe to Germany, and make the best out of it and connect it. Right now, 4,500 people work for us. It's also increasing right now. And what we do is on the next slide, if you mind.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the question was also why do we want to participate? We bring a lot of expertise from the German public sector into the project in case we're going to participate. We are already in touch with international partners and experience co-creations around user journeys and use cases for cross-border and cross-functional public services, we deal a lot with the Single Digital Gateway, which is also the Online Access Act. You might know it from Germany. So there's also a regulation in Germany which forces us to digitize. And what we want to do is connect European and SCG requirements from Germany to Europe, as I said, but also from Europe to Germany. And yeah, since we go a little bit more international, we also are keen to participate in such international projects. And yeah, what we do right now just is shown on the next and last slide already, if you mind clicking here. Perfect. So we deal with European projects like Across. That's where we are in touch with GRNet, for example, but also other international companies like Lisbon Council, where we implement interoperable cross-border public digital services, but we also work on national projects in Germany. So, for example, the Portalverbund Online Gateway, quite tricky German word, but it's the central gateway that should link to all German online services. So the connection behind the front end, so the back end is this one, and we try to connect all the services which are developed in Germany, and that's what we want to also bring to the European stage. So I think this is like the summary already. We are nationally active, and we look forward to actively analyzing if we can work together in this and if we can contribute to the project. And if you click to the last slide right now, there you can find my contact details. So we are a little bit experienced, and we think about even extending and increasing our knowledge in international projects. And talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks a lot too.
Yeah. Thanks for the presentation. Let's go back now to the So I think we need to again we were with Dataport. So we have also Entua from Greece. Is there somebody who indicate they would like to pitch? But there is nobody currently. Okay. Doesn't seem Stanislav has left apparently. So okay. Okay, this was an innovation hub, but I will maybe share the presentation, and unfortunately, maybe he had something else to do, but I will share the contact info for the Latvian digital accelerator. I don't know if there are further questions among ourselves, or you're free. We are quite ahead of time, so we have plenty of time if you would like to say a few words.
George, sorry, may I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Hello, hi everyone. So since some of the participants have mentioned the Lisbon Council, I would like to introduce myself and the Lisbon Council. So if it's possible, I would just take a couple of minutes if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course we have time.
Okay, thank you very much. So hello everybody, my name is Alicia Yotake. I work as a research associate for the Lisbon Council indeed. We are a Brussels-based think tank with more than 20 years experience in digital government in the public sector. We also work with the Commission at the moment. We are active in 8 Horizon projects and are coordinating 2 of them. We work also with local governments in these projects, and we also work on policy impact on the policy impact sphere. Like, for example, we convene policy conferences, high-level summits, and produce policy briefs. In this call, we are convening a GovTech for All consortium. At the moment, we have a consortium of 13 European country members. So some of them are here today, as you heard from the other participants. And I will share my contact. So if you want to reach out to us and learn more about the consortium and what are we working on at the moment, you're free to reach us out, so we can discuss more in detail and see what we can do together. That's it. That's everything I wanted to say. So thank you very much. You're muted. Okay.
So thank you. If there is any other person who would like to take the floor to pitch, it's welcome. So thanks, Alice, for indicating that you have been, now actively working in the consortium. So this is, of course, you're welcome to contact Alice. Although, as I said, I will share the contact of the people who expressed to do so. So if case somebody would like to take the opportunity, because we are way ahead of time, which is good. I don't think nobody will complain that we finished the meeting earlier. So if, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I've got the message from the Latvian, they will not present. But okay, so I think if not, I think the things are well underway. So maybe it means that this presentation was not necessary to be that long, because there are already a lot of contacts. So here you have the email from Alice. You can contact. I will in any case try to summarize this into an email. So I would like to thank you. So just now, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to drop us a line. We will try to put as much information as possible on. I know we have, there have been, for example, questions on eligibility of costs. What costs are eligible? Of course, do not hesitate. If I'm not able to answer, I will anyway ask the answer to the competent colleagues. But this is, do not hesitate for any doubt you may have, any needs for clarification. It's very important. We will continue to feed as well the FAQ. Normally we should have the first batch published this week, but I will try to accelerate this and to have all the questions. So do not hesitate to write me directly or to the Digit GovTech, which is better because it's monitored. And so we will try to present it as well. In case you need as well presentation to convince your hierarchy, tell us as well, because we have been doing a number of presentations in different contexts. We're here to do that. Okay, so if not, I wish you a very good afternoon to you all. Hope it is sunny as in Brussels in your place. And let's keep in touch and do not hesitate. As I say, follow the page, because we are also putting some other funding opportunities that might be of interest. And so thanks again for joining. And we see you. Hopefully we have some news from you soon. Bye.